Morning, students. Our today's topic is leadership. Now, before this, we have already understood the two elements of directing. The first one was supervision, the second one was motivation. Today, we will be talking about leadership, which is considered as the third element of directing. Now, leadership, this is something which is very, very important because in an organization, if a manager doesn't have this leadership quality, he or she won't be able to get the work which is required to be done in the organization properly. So, a manager has to be an effective leader. That is why it is already always said that if a manager is an effective leader, it will always lead to organizational success. So, manager plus leader is equal to success. If a manager is a good leader, an efficient leader, always he will be able to direct the behavior of his subordinates towards achievement of organizational goal, and that is what is the success of the organization. So, what is leadership? Leadership is the process of influencing the behavior of people by making them strive voluntarily towards the achievement of organizational goals. Very, very important. It is a process of influencing. It is the leader who influences people. Who are the people whom the leader has to influence? The people are his subordinates whom the leader is leading. And if the leader is in a position or has that quality to influence his subordinates, whatever the leader will say, the subordinates will follow. And willingly, voluntarily, they will be working towards the achievement of the organizational goals. On the basis of this definition, we are going to understand the features of leadership. The first feature says, leadership shows the ability of an individual to influence others. It is the ability. Each and every person doesn't have that ability. In an organization, if the manager is a leader, he will always have that ability to influence his subordinates, and then the subordinates will act according to what the leaders say, and that will help in the achievement of the organizational goals effectively and efficiently. So, the very first feature is ability to influence. Second, leadership seeks to bring about the desired change in the behavior of others. In an organization, we see that people may behave in different ways. So, if a manager is a good leader, always whatever he wants his followers to do, he will always bring that desired change in the behavior of the individuals who are his subordinates towards the achievement of the organizational goals. So, second point brings desired change in the behavior of subordinates in the organization who are working under a leader. Third, leadership reflects the interpersonal relationship between leaders and followers. Interpersonal relationship. The relationship between leaders and followers, that means the managers and his subordinates, can be good or bad in the organization. So, it is only the leadership, if the leader is a good leader, he will always keep his subordinates happy, and the relationship will be cordial, it will be good. Always there will be easygoing atmosphere in the organization, and that is always beneficial for the organization. So it reflects the interpersonal relationship between leaders and followers. Fourth, leadership is an effective tool to achieve common goals of the organization. In an organization, the superior subordinate relationship is established once the organization structure is developed. And if the superior subordinate relationship is there, the work of the superior is to act as a leader and guide the behavior of his subordinates. So if all the superiors working in the organization and all the subordinates, they work cooperatively, that will always help in achievement of the common goals. The common goals which has to be achieved by the combined efforts of the superior and the subordinates working in the organization by maintaining their relationship, and that is only possible in case of effective leadership. So it is an effective tool to achieve common goals. Finally, leadership is a continuous process. We see that leader has to continuously keep on influencing his subordinates working under him. As long as the targets are set in the organization, the goals are to be achieved in the organization, and the leader has to take the work from his subordinates working under him towards achievement of organizational goal. So this cycle of continuity keeps on going as long as the organization functions. So in this way, we see that these are the 5 features of leadership. Now we will be talking about importance of leadership or role of leadership in management. In exam, question may be related with importance or role. Anything the word can be used. So first point is leads to positive changes in the employees. Leadership leads to positive changes in the employees. How? Sometimes we see that the changes can only be said to be positive when the follower behaves in the way as the leader wants. And the leader will always want his follower to behave in the way and work in such a manner that the goal which is set, that is achieved through his cooperation. And that is what is required. And that is why that positive change in the behavior of the subordinate can be brought about by the leader only by influencing the behavior of the subordinates. If the leader has that influencing power, he will always try to bring about the needed changes. That is what is the positive changes in the employees, and that will contribute always towards effective goals. So second point related with it is helps in leadership, helps in achievement of goals. How does it help in the achievement of goals? In 2 ways. First, by creating personal rapport with the followers. If the leader has a good personal rapport with his followers, the followers will work as per the directions of the leader, and that will help in the achievement of the goal. Secondly, also we see if the leader is good, he always tries to support his followers, build their self-confidence and morale, and that helps the leader to get wholehearted support and cooperation from his followers, and the behavior of the followers are directed towards the achievement of the organizational goals. So by building rapport and through providing support and giving them proper space so that they can share whatever problems they have, and also they feel that their leader has trust and confidence, and that will build up their own self-confidence, and their morale will be high. That will help in the achievement of the organizational goals. Third point, leadership introduces changes smoothly. If the leader is not good, if the manager is not an effective leader, then the changes which is required time and again in the organization will not be possible very easily. But if the manager is a good leader, he will be able to persuade for the changes, first of all. That is why the changes can be possible. Second, with the changes, whatever doubts the subordinates may have, that will be clarified by the leader. The fears they might be having related with those changes that may resist the employees from the changes, that may also be clarified by the leader. That will help in introduction, you may say, bringing about the required change, inspiring also or motivating the employees for the changes, and fourthly, by resolving any kind of conflict if they have, that can also help the organization to introduce the changes. So you need to memorize what are the key words. Through persuasion, through clarification of fears or doubts, by providing proper inspiration, and by resolving conflicts, the leader helps in introducing changes, required changes or needed changes, which can help the organization to function smoothly. Fourth point, it resolves conflicts amongst the employees. Always, whenever we are talking about the importance, just put a question to yourself, how, and the one line reason explanation to how, that will explain the point itself, because not much explanation is required in this. Only one line to the point explanation is to be there. So if leadership helps in resolving conflicts amongst the employees, how? By providing them space to express. Conflicts can only be resolved if a person can open his mind and speak up. Whatever he or she feels, the feeling should be shared openly. If a leader is good, then the subordinates will not hesitate to speak up and share their feelings smoothly. And also persuading them to change their outlook. If the leader feels that there is any kind of negativity developed in the mind of the subordinate, or he wants to change the attitude of the employees as per the required needs of the organization, that is only possible, and the leader will be in a position to persuade and change the outlook of the person as per the requirement, and that will always help in resolving of the conflict amongst the employees. Sometimes we see that this conflict arises amongst the employees, and if a leader is good, he is in a position to provide that persuasion to resolve the conflicts effectively, and that will always be beneficial for the organization. Last point, provides training. A leader is someone who always, you may say, has a successor, and for that he tries to build successors by providing training. So why is this training required, or how the leader provides this successor? By providing training so that a person may be equipped with better knowledge and skills, and may be in a position to acquire higher positions if needed in the organization anytime. And if this training is provided time and again, even by the superiors, we have seen that sometimes the superiors, under the guidance of the superiors, also the subordinates, they learn so many things, and that helps them to develop themselves. In a way, they get themselves prepared for taking better positions in the organizations, and that helps in the process of smooth succession. So, importance of leadership: leader provides training, and training creates future leaders, and ensures the process of succession smoothly in the organization. So the organization also doesn't have to worry about the successors. So in this way, we have seen that the role of the leader is very, very important, or the importance of leadership we have learned here. Now we will also be learning about the qualities of a good leader. If a person wants to become a good leader, he should analyze and judge how many qualities a person is having out of these. It is said that it is not possible for one person to imbibe all these qualities, but still, the more number of these qualities you have, the better leader you will be. So let us understand what are these qualities. First of all, the physical features. It is expected that each and every leader should have a sound or good physical feature. Now when we say physical feature, what does it mean? Physical feature means the health, the physical health, the mental health of a person. So a person, if he is physically and mentally sound, because that gives the first impression. A leader tries to impress anyone if he is physically fit. If he is having the endurance quality, that means endurance means the tolerance quality, and that makes a person's personality good. So a person, to become a good leader, should have a sound personality. That will include physical personality, height, weight, build, along with the way in which the person thinks. So physical and mental health both is required along with the endurance. Second point is knowledge and intelligence. A person can only become a good leader if a person has good knowledge related with the work in the organization. If we are talking in reference to organization, a manager, if he has knowledge of the work and he is intelligent enough to understand the situation, then he will be in a position to influence those who are working under him. If I am a teacher, if I don't have the subject knowledge, then how can I influence my students? So I should have knowledge related to the subject which I am teaching, and that makes me a good teacher. And a teacher should also be the leader in the class by having this quality. So similarly, in the organization, related with the work, if the manager has the knowledge and intelligence, then he will be in a position to, he or she will be in a position to influence. Third is the integrity. Integrity you all know very well. That means the honesty, ethics, values which a person has, that also makes a leader good or bad, or effective or ineffective. Person should always have a level of integrity in his life, and that makes a person a successful leader. Fourth, initiative and courage. If you are a leader, you should always initiate. You should not wait for the opportunity to come. You should be ready to grab that opportunity. Initiate करने का मतलब पहल करना. And if you are in a position to initiate, you see that always the opportunity will knock your door, and that makes you a capable leader. Fifth, communication skill. We have learned what is communication. A person should be in a position to speak up his mind clearly, whatever one wants to convey. And in an organization, we see that every manager has to convey so many things. instructions, orders, guidelines. So communication in different ways. It may be verbal, it may be non-verbal, but whatever way of communication may be adopted, we see that always a leader should be a good communicator. In order to be a good communicator, he or she should be a good speaker. Good speaker means he should be able to convey the message in such a way that the receiver at the other end is able to understand what the speaker wants to convey. Also, good communicator is always a good listener. Leader should be a listener. He should be a counselor. And in this way, the leader can be a persuader. Because in communication, it is expected always that whatever is communicated, that should be taken up in the same spirit as the communicator is conveying, as the sender is conveying the information. And that is only possible if by understanding the level of thinking and, you may say, acting on the message or the information which is shared with the subordinates, the communicator is trying to convey, then that communication will be more effective. So in this way, we see that this is also one of the skill which is required. Then a leader should also have motivation skill. And this motivation skill a leader can only have if the leader is in a position to understand the needs of the levels of the employees, because each and every employee working in the organization has certain needs. And to motivate the employees, there is need to understand the needs and expectations of the individuals working at different places, at different positions. And that helps in making a leader a motivator, when he is in a position to understand and satisfy those needs. Then comes self-confidence. A leader should have self-confidence in himself or herself. Because if a person is not self-confident himself, how can he provide confidence to others? And a leader has to provide that confidence to his followers also. So first of all, confidence in oneself is must, and that confidence, if a leader has, he will be certainly giving that self-confidence to his followers as well. So that is must. Then next point is decisiveness. 8th point, a leader should be firm in his decisions. Whenever he takes the decisions, he should take sound decisions and should not, you may say, shake from his decisions. Because if a person is hazy or every now and then keeps on switching over from his decisions, then that person is not considered as firm. So decisions should be sound and should not be changed. So before taking decisions, a person should very well think and then decide. And that always makes a person a successful leader. Similar is the situation of a manager in the organization. So decisions should be very wisely taken. Then comes the social skills. A leader should have the social skills. To have social skill, there should be sociable attributes in a leader. For this, a leader should be understandable, a leader should be friendly, a leader should maintain good human relations. So if all these attributes or traits a leader has, he is always considered as acquiring or having a good social skills. And that helps the leader to have good followers, and those followers who are his subordinates working under him will always make his decisions good and viable for the organization. So in this way, we have learned about 8 or 9 qualities of a leader, and the more these qualities a person can have, the better leader he or she can be. After this, we have to understand one key, you may say, concept that is related with the difference between management and leadership. Sometimes in the exams it is asked. We have learned when we talk about leadership, leadership is one of the element of directing function, and directing is one of the function of management. So although sometimes leadership and management, that is interchangeably used in the management, you may say, concepts, but these are entirely two different things. So on the basis of some of the differences, we will try to understand between the difference between leadership and management. First, on the basis of meaning, what is leadership? Leadership, we have learned, it is a process of influencing the behavior of different individuals who are working under the leader to work effectively towards achievement of organizational goals. Whereas when we talk about management, management is also a process, and leadership is also a process, but leadership is process of influencing, whereas management is the process of getting work done from others. And there are different ways through which the work can be through which the manager can get the work done through others, and leading is one of the way, but other ways are also there through which the manager gets the work done. So scope, always leadership is a part of management, and management is a wider term. In case of followers, we see that who follows leaders and who are the followers of management. We see that leaders always have the followers, whereas in management, the followers are the subordinates. So leaders can be a political leader also. A manager can also be a leader. So if a manager is a leader, he will have the followers, he will have his subordinates as his followers. If a political leader is there, neta hai agar koi, so he will have his own followers. So followers in case of leadership is those who follow, and they are called the followers. In case of management, they are called the subordinates. Authority, in case of leadership, it is virtue of special qualities. Anyone can become a leader if he or she has some special attributes or traits. It is not necessarily through position that the person becomes a leader. Whereas in case of management, we see that a manager, by virtue of position, becomes the leader in the organization. So what we see is that leader may or may not be a manager, but a manager has to be a leader. Unless and until the manager is a leader, he won't be able to lead and influence the subordinates working under him towards achievement of organizational goals. With this, we have understood the concept, and I am writing the final statement that leaders may or may not be managers, but managers have to be leaders. Sometimes this statement is asked and you are asked to explain what does it mean. In question also it may be asked. So in this way we have completed the concept of leadership. We have learned about features, we have learned about the meaning of leadership, its importance or role, and also we have learned about the qualities of leadership and differentiated it with management. So the introductory part of leadership is complete. In our next class, we will be learning about the different styles of leadership. Till then, thank you, all of you.